Good morning.
Hey Josh,
How was skiing, buddy?
hiring man. That was good. That's good. I'm really tired, so I'm probably gonna just hang out today unless I see something crazy. But
Okay, can understand that. Well, I guess I'll get us going. So the first thing that stands out to me is that in our daily price channel, we had an outsized down day or undersized down day, whatever, however you want to say it, at the top of a price channel, and we're back in it. We're re-auctioning this balance area that created the all-time highs. So, what does that mean to me? Well, it tells me that I'm expecting maybe one of two things. I'm expecting an immediate push through to the all-time highs with aggression and fast, and like you won't maybe even have but one chance to get aboard it, or I'm expecting kind of a limp wristed test up and then balancing and kind of fall back, and then buyers really wait for a better price than what they have. And we're under a price channel from, if you look back here, and the only reason I bring this up is just because it's pretty strong to the top. I fading this uh, on a structural level, anything less than a scalp or looking for just rotation or reversion back to VWAP or something like that is probably unwise. I don't think you're going to get a much more than that on the downside. But um, that said, what I'm looking for here is basically an EMA break to the high side. So momentum maintained to the high side basically immediately, which would look like selling decreasing, or it increases at the high because we're at the all-time high. We're gapping up, very minor gap, but we're gapping up into the all-time highs, assuming that sticks into the open, and in that way, then bulls come right at the open and just jam it up higher, and then it's off, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to manage the day because I got nothing, I got no references to work with at that point.
yeah,
So I too am going to be cautious. Now, if that doesn't happen, what has been and I think that's the key thing this morning at the open. You need to kind of basically see it take off like a rocket. And if it doesn't, then I would expect it to bounce around and wander and pull back, because this profile, like what I saw, and I was watching this last night, is gapping up like very strangely. Like there was no liquidity. I don't know how that would happen in an all-time high, but you can see all these price gaps here, and maybe you could talk about how that would happen. And then it just kind of wandered back down, and I think this is the previous day high right here at this bottom key inflection point. So right in this neighborhood is this previous day high. So I think that's kind of the last stop on the train ride before we really need to be going higher. If that does break down, then I
If
think
you're seeing
we
movement
may see something
and
a
start to
little bit
sense a
larger
desire to
today or
act,
tomorrow that would break down. So plan real simple plan today, which is I am watching for the EMA long at the open. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm going to be very careful, be selective in my timing. I'm still looking long for the most part. I'm going to be looking for a very specific type of long, which is comes down to a break, to an inflection point, balances, sellers give up, and then we break higher, or pushes down like that. That's basically what I'm looking for. Um,
hmm
and I think I'm going to play that notion today pretty carefully, on the basis that um, buyers probably are in control, but they're always tricky to me about when they pick their timing. So I really need to see evidence of control before I'm going to try and do anything that you could commit to the market, so to speak.
okay. Well, I would say the same thing. I mean, I backed out this chart a bit because we usually look, I usually show it as a close-up, and the reason I'm doing this is just for my own thinking. Is like this was the all-time high before,
Hmm.
back. We broke down from that, tested into it, we pushed to a new low. We rallied really sharply and stayed below it. We balanced in this area, right? And now what's the next phase? We're breaking out.
Hmm.
And, until I see something that, uh, does something like this, we are in breakout mode on the big picture. And I just, I'm doing this for my own purposes, is that I want to make sure that I stay on the long side. Like on Friday, when I had an opportunity to be a long, and it was off of what I refer to as the initial support zone. It was 68 and a halves. And it was just based upon the high from the previous day, the balance in the overnight session, and it flushes into that. It looks super scary. It looks like it's going to break. It doesn't look like it's going to hold. The market comes to a crawl and turns around and goes right back up again.
Hmm.
So, and the funny thing is, it hasn't hit it since. Right? I mean, I could have gotten long on Friday morning and just held all night. Yesterday, today, everything. So, we're clearly in a bullish phase. So I'm going to be looking for some sort of pullback to get long if I'm lucky enough to get it. And if it just takes off and goes through 3,900, again, like you, I don't have a lot of reference points. I don't have a lot of areas. And I think it's going to be one of those really slow grinds higher where the market doesn't confront any big selling. It just kind of is able to stair step up. And it's very difficult to get long because getting long in an area up there is difficult because you don't have anything to lean against, if you will. There's nothing behind you that means anything. So for it to take out 3,900 or 38.98 or some level, it doesn't mean anything. So for it to flush through, your stop gets taken, and you take a trade and a loss on something that's meaningless in the bigger picture. So I'm going to look to see how this 85, if it gets tested, how it holds. I'm going to use the mid area if we push up into this area and pull back. But other than that, I'm going to look down here at the 68s and the previous 75s from what happened on Friday to see if there's any kind of push into that area. But I'd be lucky to get that push. I don't think we're going to. We may not even see that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree with you on
um,
the grinding. You're really gonna have to get on it early to avoid the grinding piece.
yeah. And the thing is, you got to get on it, and then you got to hold for a really long time. If we get a sharp pullback, it's going to look scary. It's going to look difficult to get long. You're going to have to get long and hold.
Right.
And if it breaks down, and you'll be on the wrong side, and you'll have, that's just the way it is right now. It's just a slow grind up.
Okay.
So yeah. So my initial plan is for a pullback to this level, 85s, to see if I can. That's the overnight low. I'm hoping it breaks because really the better levels are down in here. 75s would look a lot better. It breaks the 68 zone. I think it starts to look a little bit short-term weakness on that side. But again, that's going to be a 30-point decline from where we are right now. So it's going to look weak, and it's probably going to set up some sort of pullback continuation before it gets down to this level anyway.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm just hanging out probably today just to watch, see what happens.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's that. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it doesn't look awesome. That's the main problem. It doesn't look awesome. It looks mine. I don't know about yours, but mine looks really balanced at the high, and I could call that acceptance, but that doesn't mean it's going to continue to go. And so I just don't want to be hyper aggressive in an area where it just doesn't make sense to be hyper aggressive.
Right. And it doesn't make any sense for the hyper aggressiveness in a market that just slowly grinds higher. You can always hold back and look for a better level
Yeah.
to get long.
Yeah, and
So,
especially
and that's
with
what I'm.
the challenge I'm in and the size that I have, I can't afford to. I've got to be real precise on my pick. I
Yes.
can't afford to sort of layer in and campaign and work it out and all that stuff. I don't have that ability. at this stage. So
Right.
got to be right and it's got to be quick.
So I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna wait for a scary looking long, then I'm gonna take it. That's what I'm.
What do you think about what do you think about so like on a breakout system that's waiting for a close? Not I don't want to say that. That what I want to say is like I'm normally waiting for the close of a bar and things like that. But you know, there's because it's probably going to be wandery and grinding, not trying to take that price unless just every signal is there that it's rocket launch, you know, just trying to wait for a little bit of a grind back. And then once you get a signal that says it's time to get in, then you just kind of wait for the, you know, very micro pullback in that area, knowing how grindy it's going to be. What do you think?
I find this market to be difficult for longs on the breakout side. I just, and the reason that probably is the case is it's a probably loaded trade. And then as soon as everybody jumps into it, they have to correct that. That gets corrected. You get stopped out and then it goes.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking for that trade for me. Breakout happened a long time ago, like 4 days ago. So, the breakout trade is probably old at this point. I'm going to be looking for pullbacks. I'm not going to play a breakout. I think the breakouts are weak every time it happens. They're very tricky to get in at the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't see a reason to be there.
Yep. Yep. I feel you. Okay. All right. Good luck today.
Yeah. Good luck.